You're stuck. You've done what you were told. You saved up a little money. Maybe it's a few thousand, maybe it's 20,000, but now you're paralyzed. You put a little in a stock you heard about. You bought a tiny amount of crypto. You contribute just enough to your 401k to get the match. You're dabbling, but you know this isn't a strategy. This random walk investing isn't building real wealth. It's financial tourism. And while you sit there terrified of making the wrong move, the money you saved is being silently stolen, eaten alive by inflation. Your fear is causing you to make the absolute worst financial move: nothing. You've been taught that just starting to invest is the hard part. That is a lie. The hard part is the sequence, and your sequence is completely wrong. You are building a financial house with no foundation, and it's about to collapse. The financial gurus, the talking heads on television, Wall Street, they all love to give you the same tired script. Just buy the index fund, they say. Max out your 401k. Diversify. This advice isn't designed to make you rich. It's designed to make you a compliant, predictable source of capital for their machines. It's advice that keeps you comfortable, passive, and perpetually in the middle class. The wealthy don't just invest, they capitalize. They don't just buy the market, they make the market. They follow a specific, non-negotiable sequence. They build a fortress before they ever go to war. I am going to give you that sequence. These are the real rules of the money game, and they are the exact opposite of what you've been told. Rule 2. Eliminate toxic debt, slaying the leech. Only after your war chest is full do you move to phase 2. You become a hunter. Your target is all toxic debt, any high-interest consumer debt. We're talking credit cards, personal loans, car notes. Anything over 6 to 8% interest is a leech, and you must kill it. The practical application is the avalanche method. Forget the snowball and its psychological games. We are financial strategists. You list every debt by its interest rate, from highest to lowest. You pay the minimums on everything except the highest one. You take every single surplus dollar from your income, and you unleash hell on that single high-interest debt until it is zero. Then you take that entire payment and roll it on to the next one. This is a non-negotiable step. The common pitfall is trying to do both. This is financial insanity. People say, why pay off my 7% car loan when I can make 10% in the S&P 500? You are comparing a guaranteed 7% return to a hypothetical 10% return. It's ludicrous. You cannot fill a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. You are trying to outrun a bear that is chained to your ankle. The economic justification is undeniable. Paying off a 25% APR credit card is a guaranteed tax-free return of 25% on your money. No investment in history, not Warren Buffett, not Jim Simons, can guarantee you that return. You are not just paying off debt, you are reclaiming your cash flow. Every dollar you send to a bank is a soldier that could be fighting for you. You are bringing your soldiers home so you can build your own army. We are going to throw that entire broken playbook in the trash. Real wealth, the kind that gives you sovereignty, is built in a clear 5-phase sequence. You do not move to the next phase until the previous one is complete. This is not a suggestion. This is the blueprint. Rule 1. Build the war chest, your sovereignty fund. Your first step is not to invest, it's to build a fortress. This is not your grandmother's 6-month emergency fund. This is your war chest, your freedom fund. This is 12 to 18 months of your full living expenses. And on top of that, you build a separate opportunity fund, 10,000, 20,000, whatever you can stack. This money must be liquid, safe, and boring. It goes into high-yield savings accounts or short-term T-bills. Nothing else. The practical application is simple. Automate it. Every paycheck, a non-negotiable percentage is transferred directly to this high-yield savings account before you ever see it. You live on the rest. You cut expenses, you get a second job, you do whatever it takes until that account hits your number. This is your new obsession. The common pitfall is impatience. You will watch this cash sit there, earning almost nothing, while the market is going up. You will get the itch. You'll think, I'm losing money to inflation. You'll be tempted to break the rule just this once and invest it. And right then, your car will break down, your roof will leak, or you'll lose your job. You'll be forced to sell your assets at the worst possible time, locking in a loss, all because you were impatient. The economic justification for this is what the poor never understand. This fund buys you time and leverage. It gives you the power to say no. It allows you to walk away from the job you hate, to negotiate a raise from a position of power, not desperation. It allows you to survive any recession without panic selling your assets. Capital isn't just money, it is power. This fund is your first taste of real financial power. Rule 2. Eliminate toxic debt. Only after your war chest is full do you move to phase 2. You become a hunter. Your target is all toxic debt, any high-interest consumer debt. We're talking credit cards, personal loans, car notes. Anything over 6 to 8% interest is a leech, and you must kill it. The practical application is the avalanche method. Forget the snowball and its psychological games. We are financial strategists. You list every debt by its interest rate, from highest to lowest. You pay the minimums on everything except the highest one. You take every single surplus dollar from your income, and you unleash hell on that single, high-interest debt until it is zero. Then you take that entire payment and roll it onto the next one. This is a non-negotiable step. The common pitfall is trying to do both. This is financial insanity. People say, why pay off my 7% car loan when I can... Rule 4. Master leveraged investing, other people's money. You have your fortress, you have no leeches. You have 2 income streams, your job and your mini business. Now you use the surplus cash flow from both of those streams as a down payment. You use the surplus cash flow from both of those streams as a down payment to acquire a larger cash flowing asset, and you do it using debt as a tool. The practical application is to use other people's money, OPM. You buy a rental property with a mortgage. You get an SBA loan to buy an existing, already profitable business, a laundromat, a small software company, a local delivery route. You are using the bank's money to control 100% of an asset. The common pitfall is using leverage to buy liabilities. This is what the masses do. They use debt to buy a luxury car, a bigger primary home, a boat. They use leverage to consume. The wealthy use debt as a weapon to acquire cash-flowing assets. If the debt doesn't pay you every month, you cannot afford it. The economic justification is the wealth accelerator. This is how you achieve exponential growth. You put 20% down on a rental property. Your tenant's rent pays your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, and still puts cash in your pocket. Your tenant is paying down your debt for you. Your tenant is building your equity for you. You are using a small amount of your own capital to control a large asset and capture all of its cash flow and appreciation. This is the game. Rule 5. Move to passive investing, the market. Last, you've done it. You have a war chest, Rule 1. You have no toxic debt, Rule 2. You have multiple income streams from your job, your business, Rule 3, and your leveraged assets, Rule 4. You are now a financial machine, generating massive surplus cash flow every single month. Now finally, you move to the stock market. The practical application is simple. You take this massive surplus, this profit from your system, and you dump it into low-cost, passive index funds. Something like VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, or VTI, the total stock market. You don't pick stocks, you don't time the market, you buy the entire market and you let it compound untouched for decades. The common pitfall is doing this first. The average person tries to get rich by putting $200 a month into an index fund. On a small capital base, an 8% return is meaningless. It's too slow. It's a get-rich-slow scheme that ensures you'll only be rich when you're too old to enjoy it. The economic justification is critical. The stock market is not a wealth creation tool. It is a wealth preservation and compounding tool. You use your active income, your job, your controlled income, your business, and your leveraged income, your rental, to build the fortune. You use the passive market to protect and grow that fortune, shielding it from inflation and letting it compound while you sleep. Let's look at a final illustrative anecdote: Investor A versus Investor B. Investor A is the mainstream investor. He puts $1,000 a month into his 401k for 10 years. At an 8% return, he'll have about $182,000. It's not bad, but he is 100% dependent on his job. He has no new income streams, and all his money is locked away in a financial prison. Investor B is the sovereign investor. She saves $1,000 a month for 3 years, building a $36,000 war chest, Rule 1. She uses $30,000 of that as a down payment on a $150,000 rental property, Rule 4. That property cash flows $300 a month. For the next 7 years, she takes her original $1,000 a month plus the $300 a month from her rental, and she puts all $1,300 a month into an index fund, Rule 5. After the same 10 years, what does she have? She has $170,000 in her index fund, but she also has a real estate asset worth, say, $200,000, with a mortgage that's been paid down to $110,000. Her net worth is $260,000, $170K plus $90K equity. That's $78,000 more than Investor A. But more importantly, she has 2 income streams, a proven system to acquire more assets, and she built a financial fortress that works for her. She won the game. The high-stakes choice. So you have the blueprint. The choice is now yours, and it is a clear one. You can take the compliant path. This is the one they gave you. Keep playing their game. Max out your 401k, lock your money away for 40 years, buy the biggest house the bank tells you can afford, and diversify into mediocrity. Be a passenger in your own financial life, and just hope that after 4 decades of being a wage slave, you have enough left over to retire. Hope that inflation hasn't eaten your savings. Hope that the market doesn't crash right when you need the money. Hope that your job is secure. Or you can take the sovereign path, the path of the driver. You follow the sequence. You build your fortress. You slay your toxic debt. You acquire an asset that you control, one that pays you to own it. You use intelligent leverage to build a system, an empire, and then you use the passive markets to protect the fortune you built. The choice is simple. Do you want to be a cog in their financial machine, or do you want to own the machine? Do you want to spend your life building their assets, or do you want to build yours? Stop investing based on hope and random advice. The sequence is right in front of you. The work is hard, but the outcome is non-negotiable financial freedom. It's time to choose. Start building your war chest today.